Okay, so in this video, we're going to be talking about something that revolves around the comics. So if you don't like comic spoilers, then just click off this video. But we're going to be talking about how Negan may possibly be imprisoned. What will lead to Rick imprisoning Negan in the TV series?
Now, this is a topic we've wanted to discuss for so long. And it's really interesting. I mean, I come up with this a while back now, like over a year ago. And I've been wanting to talk about it. And I've talked about it with some people and they thought it's a great idea. And I think we spoke about it in our Morgan Jones video that we did way back. But yeah, we didn't have any
Didn't get the attention we deserved.
And yeah, so I mean, this is a cool theory. So in the comic, at the end of the All Out War, which I'm supposed to be end of season 8, right? In the comic, we have Nicholas who dies. But first, he's on the bed and he's talking to Rick and he's been shot by a poisonous arrow, or he's been hit by one of the Saviour's weapons that are full of walker guts. So he's infected and he's in the bed and he's burning up. And I was thinking, who's going to get that death in the TV series? Because it's the end of the All Out War and it goes into a new beginning. And there's not really any, before David goes into this, there's not really major deaths. There's no major deaths in All Out War in the comics. No. So, you know, with the TV series, they've got to keep the fans happy because fans are going to bitch, obviously. They've got to have sort of a main character death in a big arc like that. So I think with what David's going to go into right now, they're going to change up a comic death and replace a certain someone with Nicholas. And this certain someone is Morgan. Now, like my brother said, there has to be like main character deaths, and I mean with the TV show, like it's gonna have to go on. The reason I say Morgan is because in the comic, Morgan originally dies in No Way Out. He gets bit and he's on the bed and he like starts hallucinating, talking to Michonne and Carl and stuff about Dwayne and all that. And I think they're gonna remix that and put it at the end of All Out War. Now the reason I think it's gonna happen at the end of All Out War with Morgan Jones is because he's not only getting his comic book death, which the show likes to do, and remix with certain characters. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. In the comic, Rick decides after All Out War to start a brand new beginning. There's a 2-year time skip. He decides to imprison people, not kill them, like get things back to how they used to be, and like no longer kill and stuff. Now that comes out of nowhere in the comic, and I think in the TV series, like we've said many times before, they like to go
a bit more in depth,
with certain
have
stories.
a backstory to certain things.
Story, and I always give the example of No Way Out. They showed how the Horde formed.
So what we think is going to happen is that Morgan's going to be the reason for Rick wanting to imprison Negan.
Yeah.
I don't think this All Life is Precious stuff is over yet. I think it probably will. Like I said, everything gets a return. Maybe this will get a return, and Morgan will find out that this is what he wants. He thinks that All Life is Precious still, and that you still can live in a world where, you know, now that the Saviors are pretty much almost gone, you can live in a world. You can start to build that world where you don't have to kill. You can imprison people. Morgan built that prison. It would make sense how he wants Rick to start imprisoning people. And he'll probably say, instead of killing Negan, if you manage to get your hands on him, put him in the cell, like, because all life is precious and you don't have to kill. And that will be Rick's way of honouring Morgan.
Sort of like how Morgan honoured Eastman. But I mean, I know Morgan's now killed and people are thinking that he's going to go back to just being normal now. He's going to kill and stuff. I still think that's going to kind of hurt him a bit. But I mean, that can kind of all come back round when he's about to die. When he's burning up on the bed. And I've said to a few people, like, how cool that parallel be. Like, Morgan's on the bed now burning up, Rick's over him. Kind of like the first ever episode of The Walking Dead, where Rick's on the bed, Morgan's over him, like, talking. And I can see there being a very, like, similar parallel there.
I can definitely see it happening. And it will replace Nicholas with Morgan and make it a much bigger death. I really don't want Morgan to die, but if he goes out this way and has Rick imprison Negan and has him basically start to build this civilization where you don't have to kill, where you can actually imprison people and basically sort of build a world that's similar to the one they used to live in, it makes sense.
And Morgan's the only one who kind of kept that thought process throughout. People hated him for it, but I mean, A New Beginning, he is an original character. He's in the first ever episode, he saved Rick and stuff, and I believe that would be a great way to just... He's an original character, isn't he? I mean, I know he's not been through all the seasons, but I mean, A New Beginning, it has to happen. There has to be a story behind it, and it's definitely going to be Morgan. I mean, he's the one who's like, everything comes back around and all that.
He's the one who actually saved Rick, which is something like that quick off topic here. Maggie said that it was because of Rick, that it was because of Glenn that Rick's here and he made this decision. Technically, it was because of Morgan. Morgan's the one who saved Rick. If it wasn't for Morgan, Rick would have got bit by that walker and then died. I mean, technically it was because of Morgan, not Glenn, but not going to go into that. That's just irrelevant.
Well,
just something I realised.
Like, it was past that, so technically, really, it was Glenn. He did save Rick, but I know you're getting at, you smart ass. So that's about it for this theory. I've been waiting to get this out for so long. Probably some things I've missed. But I mean, you guys in the comments can tell us about that. I mean, there's so much they could put into that. Yeah, I definitely think it's Morgan's time to go at the end of the All Out War. It just makes sense to go into A New Beginning. I mean, all the quotes with Eastman, if you go back and watch Here's Not Here with him and Eastman, there's so many quotes in there that you could think, you know what, that goes into New Beginning. Like, there's little things like that I look at in terms of the story going forward, and I think it makes sense.
But that's about it for this video. Tell us what you think down below. Give us your own thoughts, your own parallels.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed. Leave it a like, share it around, and as always, cheers for watching.